Premier's Turning Point, with your host, Bishop Dr. Uton Lay. We pray and hope that something that is being said today will bless your soul and spirit. Please take a quick moment to like and share this broadcast with your friends and family. Thank you again for joining us. Let's go into our live program.
Blessings and good evening, one and all. This is Bishop Dr. Uton Lang saying welcome again to another day with us on Premier's Turning Point. Hopefully, everybody is having a wonderful day. You're enjoying this nice summer, early fall day. I know it's a holiday weekend, and so everybody's getting ready to do something if they can. Because of the pandemic, we're a little bit secluded. So we're just giving everybody a chance to really, open up with us this evening. We are very excited. We have a couple of our younger folks on this evening with us, so we're going to be still doing some talk about the pandemic and what is going on around the world. We have one of our young people who's in college, who started back on campus, so that will be interesting to get some insights, and also another one of our young people who has started back high school and is going out for classes as well. So we know there's a lot of issues, a lot of questions surrounding the pandemic, and everybody are concerned. Some things are opening up, some things are opening up slower, and there are still a lot of concerns. And also, I know people will probably have a lot of questions about all the talk about vaccine and, setting it out early. So we want to just share with us this evening. Please feel free to jump on our Facebook and like us there. Also share the program for today with all your friends. And right there on the comments, you can ask your questions, you can make comments, and we will engage you as the program goes on. So this is Premier's Turning Point. I'm Bishop Dr. Uton Lang. We have two very nice young people with us. We're going to let them surprise you and introduce themselves and say a little bit about themselves, and then we will proceed. So this time we're going to start out. We're going to have Sister Brianna starting out first, and then Sister Kiana will follow.
So hi, I'm Brianna Roberts. I'm a college freshman at Rowan University. I'm double majoring in musical theater and marketing. I go to Premier for Life Ministries. And yeah, this is my first year of college, and I am on campus. So yeah, first week college.
All right. Sister Kiana.
Hi, my name is Kiana Forbes, and I go to Thomas Edison Energy Smart Charter School. And yeah, I'm a senior and I'm going in school for now.
All right. Okay, so we have a freshman and a senior in high school, and so I wanted just to start out and ask them, well, now both of them are back in school. So what kind of arrangements are they making in your, in the college, and then of course in high school? What arrangements are they making to keep you guys safe? Brianna?
Well, for my school, every student has the option to either be remote or hybrid courses. Yeah, so for me personally, I chose to be on campus and take in-person classes. So what that means is just that physical presence is optional for almost all of the classes that I'm taking. Although the first couple weeks we are starting online, so I haven't physically been to any class so far. And according to some of my professors, the plan is that they're going to wait it out 3 weeks, see how it is, and then decide if they even want to hold classes on campus. I'm also, as a theater major, I'm also in some shows, so that's another reason why I tried to be on campus. And for the shows too, where some people are recording their portions of the show on campus and some people are doing it from home. As far as like coronavirus, I'm going to be honest, my school hasn't tested anybody like coming into the school, I guess. there are optional tests, which like they'll just drop it off in your mailbox and you can take it if you want. And as of right now, they're only testing people who have symptoms. So I did want to get tested, and they turned me away because I didn't have showing symptoms. So as far as corona, yeah, the school is taking interesting precautions.
Now, now, Brianna, are you in terms of? I know you're in a dorm, so are they keeping each student by themselves, or they're still doing the shared dorms type of thing in spite of coronavirus?
So for all dorms, the only thing that they stopped was the 3-person dorms, I believe. So you can do a double and a single, and they allow that. The RAs do encourage that you don't invite people over. You wear your mask as much as you want, but security is really like non-existent. So people are doing what they want. People aren't wearing masks. Me and my roommate are the only people who actually wear a mask on campus. So that was kind of like a culture shock in a way. I didn't feel like I was in New Jersey anymore. I felt like I was like somewhere else.
Okay, all right. And Kiana, how about you? What things are happening in the schoolroom, classroom, and what precautions they're taking?
So like Brianna said, we like everyone in the school has the option to stay home or do hybrid. So I chose to do hybrid because I was tired of being at home. But like in my classroom, there's 8 people and everyone else is at home, so they have to follow like the exact same schedule that we do, like in school. And then like in the classroom, everyone has to stay like 6 feet apart, and in the hallways, there's like stickers like 6 feet apart that you have to like stuff like that. And then in the cafeteria, there's like glass screen things so that you don't really interact. And then we have to wear masks all day, so stuff like that. And as of like tests and stuff, my school did offer tests, and I took it because just because, and then I tested like negative or whatever. But I know some people in my class that did not get the test at all. So yeah.
All right, so it seems like there is a range of stuff. There's the high school seem like it's following all of the precautions, the social distancing, the masks are required, and they're doing the in the classroom. Kiana, is there any separation with the desk? Just 6 feet? Are there any plexiglass separation between the desk and stuff?
Well, there isn't glass. It's just like um. Okay, so all the desks are 6 feet apart, and then there's like post-it notes, like yellow and pink, in my rooms. So we're only allowed to sit where the yellow post-it notes are, and then in the cafeteria we're only allowed to sit where the green dots are. So like there's separation, and
So
we don't
they're doing the
interact.
dis. So they're doing the distancing, and then also the mask are required. You wear the
Yeah.
mask, wear the mask. Yeah. All right, because this is one of the issues that I was somewhat concerned about. How if we roll back out, and with the different schools, how much are they going to institute that, keep it going and keep it in check. So it looks like at the high school level, at least for Kiana, that is being done. Now, Brianna, I know you told us what's going on in your college, and if you've been listening to the news, there's quite a few colleges that started, and because the cases have risen so high, they have to, now shut back down and like for a couple more weeks. What do you think about that? How are you concerned about that any at all?
Um, kind of, because like if you look at other schools like NYU, like on TikTok, like they're showing their quarantine meals. So I know they're like quarantining their students for 2 weeks or so before they actually head back on campus, and that is the complete opposite for my school. Um, and people are still like partying, they're not wearing their masks, so it's kind of scary that I could be sent home and everything could end.
Hmm.
So it's always in the back of my mind, like I'm not being um, like I realize it's a pandemic, and like kids aren't going to follow the rules sometimes, so that is the possibility. But we're trying our best right now to like follow the orders that are given.
Okay. I know a lot of people, almost everybody I know now, have somebody either in their family or extended family who has been affected. Are either one of you have anybody in your families been affected by the virus? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Okay. So, yep. So, how about you, Brianna?
Not that I know of.
Now that you know of? Okay. All right. And the reason I brought that up is I think one of the things that I am still concerned about is the lack of, care that people are taking when it comes to this virus. And it's a serious thing. And it gets me. I mean, and I've just looked over the, various different the schools that have gone back. And, some of them are really sticking to the structure and making sure they're distancing while others aren't. But ultimately, I think what I always try to impress on everybody, each person really, I think, have to be responsible for themselves. Because if every one of us take responsibility for ourselves, so you see how that's going to trickle down, and we're going to have a group of people that are quite responsive. Because, I know, college kids, and even down the street from my house, there was where a group of college kids lived. They had a party last weekend and I saw tons of them there. Just nobody had a mask on. They're in pools together. They were all over the place. And I am just concerned that we may see, instead of us getting a control, we may see a big upsurge in the coronavirus virus cases that may then cause us to then have to try to think about shutting down again, which I don't want. I really would want to see this gradually open up. Now, in terms of life in general, how has the virus affected the whole pandemic affected you? Just in general, how has it affected your life, your mindset and everything? How has it affected you? Anyone?
Um, for me, well, since I've been out of school since like March
Hmm.
until like last week, I was just really bored at home. Like I had to stay home. Well, there was a couple times I went out like to my cousin's house or like to a birthday party or something. But yeah, like I had to just stay home, and it was just really boring. So I missed school, and that's part of the reason why I chose hybrid.
Okay. Brianna?
Um, well, for me, I guess it's just kind of helped me put things into perspective a lot. Um, because my whole senior year was taken away from me, and I know that's like uncomparable to a deadly virus, but it's taken like a mental toll on me in the fact that like I didn't get to have like the experiences I've been working so hard for. And I think that's just another reason why I really want to go on campus to get back um, as normal as possible. As far as like putting things into perspective, like for example, like my shows being canceled and theater competitions and other things that I would do on the side, like it really like none of that really mattered, like everyone just wanted to be safe. Everyone wanted to make sure that no one like the disease doesn't spread. So yeah, that aspect like kind of matured me in a bit and to realizing like this is real, not as if it wasn't real before, but that, we should really um be careful about what we're doing.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think I brought that point up because I think we empathize with all of the especially the graduates who were their prom they didn't get to do their even graduation ceremonies, and it can be depressing, and that's the reason I bring it up. But the good thing is that you have an opportunity to talk about it, how you feel, realizing that at least if you have your life then in the future you can probably do some stuff that you didn't get a chance to do because but it is understanding, and I think families need to realize that. We talked a little bit about this in a couple of weeks ago, and we need to be there for our young people to kind of be empathetic with them, sympathize with them, and be there for them so they can talk and work through the issues because as we've been dealing with quite a bit, the stress and the anxiety of everything can then cause people to, go have all kind of untoward effects and even lead to depression, which I think we want to make sure everybody are aware of so that we're looking out for one another, looking out for our youth and being there for them. And actually, with that said, I really want, you guys, and make sure you share with your friends, talk to your families, talk to your loved ones, talk to your friends and make, do kind of debrief yourself because it can be too much if, it's just all on you and you kind of bottle it up. And it's really, really, really important. And I think some of the times, it doesn't seem to you or your group that the adults really understand, but I think we do. We just because we're a little bit more mature, so we kind of deal with things a little bit different. We're like, all right, that will pass. While you're like, oh my gosh, my life has ended. What am I going to do? I didn't get to do this and that, but we're there for you. And especially as a church, we want to share that, caring and that love one with one another. And I think what you need to do, and I think we talk about is, what are some of the things you did though to, when you were bored or, feeling down? How did you kind of help to boost yourself
For me, like mentally, it wasn't that bad to be honest, because like over the summer, like okay, so before Corona, I signed up for the Harvard summer program that I had got into, so like I was like happy about it. But then it was like really expensive. It was like $12,000 just for the summer. So like
up?
when Corona hit, like some of those fees came off. So I was like really happy, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't have to
yeah.
pay for it. So that was
Hmm.
good for me. And then like most of the summer, uh, I was just doing that. Like I was just doing those courses there. And I was also going to the daycare to like for work and stuff. So it wasn't that bad to be honest. But yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you, Brianna?
Um, hmm. I guess for me, honestly, I made TikToks a lot. I would just
Okay.
like start practicing, trying to get back into like the auditioning type of feel, learn some monologues here and there. I also started cooking, um,
Mm-hmm.
just doing stuff like to make me not feel like I'm going crazy. Because I was home like every day pretty much, especially in the beginning. So yeah, just doing stuff to keep me occupied. Even like for the church, like doing some graphic designs for fun because I had nothing else to do, and that just seemed fun to make art. So yeah, and also one big thing that I've done over quarantine to help me is like limit my time on my app because especially in June when the whole Black Lives Matter movement started gaining progression again, I really had to start taking a break from my phone and the type of content I was indulging in. So yeah, that really helped me as well.
Okay. So I think the theme that I hear is, keeping yourself busy, finding interesting thing to do. Because as we do this program, we really were trying to also give out information to people who are listening and engaging. And then still, for a lot of people, they're still home and they're still going to, thank God, most of the schools are going to do a little bit more structured program where the kids will be more structured. So that may help. But, keeping your mind active. This is a great time. I think, there's some of the stuff that you plan to do, want to do. It's time to explore them. That stuff that doesn't need you to be meeting with other people, working on any hobbies that you have. And also I think the one point I also tried to make, and so I'm going to ask you guys this question: what did you do to keep active physically? You can say
Uh,
nothing, but
Not really anything. Like I said, like I went to the daycare. So I guess
okay,
active
yeah,
it would be like playing with the kids.
okay, all
But
right, so
like
that counts.
but like other than that, nothing really. Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Brianna? Did you do anything to keep physically fit? And yeah,
Kind of like as I
Hmm.
said before, making TikToks. You should
Hmm.
definitely try the dances. Like they'll help you break a sweat.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
And
okay.
also, my friends and I, like, we were really sad that we couldn't see each other. So we started like planning bike rides and stuff. So we would do bike rides together.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, sometimes I would go walking with my parents. That was probably like in the beginning of quarantine, though, not towards the
Yeah,
end. But
yeah.
yeah, just doing little things here and there. And I started working out again a little bit before I came to college. So like in the beginning of August, I started working out, just doing little home workouts and trying to get
Hmm.
back in shape.
Yeah, yeah, good. And then the point that why I brought that up, I think, is very important. For because also as a physician, I kind of see people coming in. Actually, you remember they usually talk about that 15-pound first year in college, but it was like a 30-pound
Yeah.
COVID weight gain that a lot of people were seeing. So the point that I was making with that is we have to also work into our daily routine some kind of physical activity where you're going to keep yourself physically fit. And walking is a great one. Walking, and even though we're quarantined, we're locked in, you can go out and walk. If somebody's on the street, you wear your mask and you walk over the other side of the street. So that's really an easy thing that almost everybody can do. Even if you don't have any structured things at home, walking is so important. And I think it keeps not just the body healthy and active, but it keeps the mind too. Exercises releases natural endorphins that helps the brain to function well. So I think it's something good that I really want to get out there because I've seen, too many people just become docile and do nothing. So as the youth, it's important for the youth. It's also important for the older folks as well. So this is something that we, should be really engaging in and making sure it makes that part of our routine. A couple of weeks ago, we are on the turning point. We're talking to various people, and that was one of the things that came through. You have to almost kind of put some structure into your day because you could lay and sleep. How many days out of the 90 days did you all sleep all day? Anybody?
A lot.
A lot. Okay, a lot. Okay. And how about you? Did you sleep
I
any
mean,
days? You
I
just got
slept a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I slept a lot too, but like I also don't think I've slept the whole day any day.
Not the whole day, but almost the whole day, right? Yeah. So this is
No.
because yeah, no, not quite. The point of that is, one of the signs is of that we get depressed is that could be one of the signs. Just sleeping, 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 and feeling, that you can't do anything. So that's one thing I want everybody to guard themselves against. If you see that kind of, where you have no interest in doing anything at all, and just okay, I'm just gonna lay in bed all day. I get up, I may eat something or not, or so there's various signs that we should look for. So we want everybody to really be observant about your own self. See where you are. If you're feeling down, talk, as I said, talk to somebody. Um, talk to somebody. Reach out to your family members, your in-laws, outlaw, everybody, and just engage so that you can really get in tune with what's going on. Now, is there anything about this pandemic that is still concerning either one of you? Anything that you have learned, not learned, think you're concerned about? Anything about the ongoing pandemic that you're concerned about?
Um, like I wouldn't say it's too big of a concern, but then again it is. But like a lot of people like still don't wear masks and stuff when they go in public. Like they still
Hmm.
don't do a lot of things that they're told to do. And there are people that don't believe that the virus is actually real. Like I don't know if they're joking, but like they say that it's not real or it's fake or like you know I've heard someone say that they started with targeting old people in the hospitals and making them die and then saying that it's the virus. And it was just like there's a lot of stuff that people say and it's just concerning because like yeah.
Okay. Brianna, anything concerning?
Yeah, I agree with the mask situation. I feel like I thought New Jersey was one of the not stricter states, but the states that were more in the I don't know how to explain it, but we were the ones who were basically doing what we were supposed to do. Like I thought that was the truth. Um, until coming to this college campus and seeing people not wear masks at all, like at all. And
Mhm.
yeah. So they're even I remember going to Maryland, Ocean City, nobody wore their masks. And I was like, oh, maybe it's a Maryland thing. And then coming here and seeing there's actual people who don't believe in this virus or in that it could be deadly and affect them until it actually does. So that's kind of scary. It's and even with me and my roommate making friends, it's hard. How are we going to make friends? We can't trust these people, where they've been. We can't trust them if they're just wearing their mask now just because they see us have our masks on, or if they don't wear their masks at all, you know? So it's kind of those situations.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason for that question because I think there's still so many things that I think concerns me personally, and when I look around and see, especially and some of that is because there's so many mixed messages coming from the government, from the scientists, from the politicians. So there's so many mixed messages that people really, I think some people are actually confused as to what they should or should not believe. And I think, that's really, so I actually empathize with some people because they're really actually confused. But when you look at the main things that are going on, it's this virus is so real. And, there's all kind of theories about, just killing off whole people and all of that stuff. But if, as time has progressed, we're seeing more incidents among the younger people. There's more incidents now among the younger people. They're 40, 30, and 40-year-olds. 20-year-old person just dropped dead the other day. And so I think the important thing is for each, again, I go back to what I was saying before. Each of us have to take responsibility for self. And if somebody we have to, cross our paths have to cross, we have to make sure they understand where you're coming from. You can explain to them why you're doing what you're doing, and then if we're gonna work together, then we have to be on the same wavelength. So I think it's on us to do the right thing, take this seriously, and then also educate those people who seem to don't understand, because the facts are really the facts. I mean, anybody really want to see the facts, they can get it. And even though some people are not saying, well, some of the people didn't die because for coronavirus, they died for other reasons. But hey, guess what? If you had other illnesses, but then when you got the coronavirus, everything got worse. The coronavirus is what caused your death. So I think people have to just be of that understanding. And I think each of us, if we are to take our concerns seriously and then share that, I think we can get the point across, and at least we can safeguard ourselves. We can safeguard our families and do the best that we can. Because I think if things happen and keep happening in the right way, then we should see an improvement over time. All right, now there is another point to which I wanted the young people's point of view is what are your thoughts or concern about a vaccine?
Um, I was really scared because, you know how vaccines, they input the virus inside of you, right? So I was like, I don't know if the vaccine is actually going to help. Because I know a lot of people initially, they're not even going to want to take the vaccine. And then I heard that they're going to make you do it. And then I had to ask Sister Donna about this one time, but that was a couple months ago. She was like, she's not sure. She has to see how it's gonna go and stuff. But I don't know. I was really confused about that because I was like, yeah.
Okay, Brianna, you did. You muted, Brianna. Go ahead. I think we lost Brianna for a minute. So when she gets back on, we will continue to let her speak. But in terms of the vaccine, no people are concerned. And I know, Kiana, you said something which I will try to fix is We actually, with most all the vaccines, they're actually not putting, it's not a live virus. Out of all,
Right.
most of them is a protein derivative or a protein that they make that looks like it and acts like it. There's only two vaccines right now that are actually what they call live attenuated. And so it's not the full, so they kind of partially killed the virus, and that is the measles, mumps, rubella, and the varicella. Everything else that is out there now is not a live virus. And actually, the virus, what they're making for vaccines, most all of the ones that are making are not live. I think there's two or three that I see that may be live attenuated. So what people have to understand with vaccines in general, you're really rarely are going to get the disease from the vaccine. First of all, most times it's not a live virus. And then secondly, if it's an attenuated virus, it's not giving you the full potent virus. The key thing is, and a lot of people say, well, every time I take a vaccine, I get ill or I feel something. What happened is, if you didn't get any kind of reaction from getting the vaccine, it's less likely that you're going to develop the antibodies. Because what happens when you put a foreign substance in your system, think about it that way, your body develop, is going to fight against it. So what does that fight mean? It may mean your temperature may go up. It may mean you feel a little bit blah because your body is putting all of its efforts into fighting that. So people do get a reaction from most all vaccines. However, you're not getting the actual disease. So a lot of time there's coincidence. People feel a little bit blah, so they blame the vaccine. So I just wanted to make sure we, clarify the basic things about vaccines. And then we'll talk a little bit about the actual COVID-19 vaccine in a little bit. Brianna, you back with us? You're still mute. Still can't hear you. Okay. All right. So I still can't hear her. So maybe my team can reach out to her and let her know that we can hear her. So now the issues with the COVID-19 vaccine that they're working on is they're working through, there's regular systems that they work through. They do the trials. Then, of course, the last phase, which is phase 3, which some of the things are in now, they are where they do actually use live people that are inject the vaccine, excuse me, into, and then they're going to track them and see how they respond. Then they're going to check to see did they develop antibodies, to the vaccine, or any of those who were sick, did they get recovery and all of that stuff. And then they come up with a safety plan that yes, this vaccine is safe. Now, in the news, if you listen to, there was some talk in the news that they may bring out the vaccine early so they can give it the day before election, and that one would be one that they didn't do the phase 3 testing. So that's my concern, that they would then try to do this. The Russians are actually doing this. If you listen to the news, the Russians started, giving this vaccine to their people even before they do the phase 3 testing. And of course, a lot of us are a little bit upset about that. But then here comes the U.S. now thinking of doing the same thing, which I think we should call up all the congressmen or senators and talk to them, because I think this would be the wrong way to go personally when I look at all the evidence. So I know, people already have concerns, as Keanu said, and some of them said, well, they're not even getting this vaccine. And of course, if you're going to push it out early, of course, you see why people are going to even be more concerned. Now, in terms of making it that you must get it, I don't think they can mandate that you must take the vaccine. For school children, they probably can. They can pass a law that to go to school, you have to have the vaccine. However, in general, I don't think that they would do that or they can do that. They're going to face a lot of resistance if they try to do that. All right, Brianna, you with us now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. All right. So we were asking on the topic of vaccines. What are your thoughts, concerns, or any ideas you have on that?
Honestly, I didn't hear much about the vaccines,
Mhm.
but I do think it's gonna be a struggle to get like people who actually want to get it, um, like to try it
Mhm.
and test it out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Why you think people is going to be a struggle though? that people not going to want to test
Yeah,
and take it.
like I personally know a lot of people who are anti-vaccinations for like everything, and like like Kelly was saying, like if people know like they're gonna get like a little bit of corona injected in them, they're not gonna like want that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think a lot of people are concerned in general about vaccines, and that's why I wanted to hear what was the young people's take on that. But I want everybody, and I really, starting today, to look at vaccines scientifically and to stop, because I think there's a lot of this one say this is wrong with the vaccine, that one say this. I want everybody, to, get educate yourself because you need to make an educated decision about vaccines. And this is going out for everybody out there. So you need to educate yourself about what vaccines. As I said earlier, and I don't know if you heard, most all the vaccines that are actually on the market, only two of them are live vaccines and they're not actually full. They're what they call live attenuated. That means they've treated them, so you're not kind of from giving that you're not going to get the disease. Yes, but you kind of try to replicate the disease without giving the disease. With all the vaccines, it's really depending on your body to react and to make antibodies, so that when you are then faced with the actual disease, your body will have these antibodies to fight off the disease. That's the way you should think about it, bringing it down to that level. So your body is then fighting off, the disease based on, hey, I've seen this thing before. It's bad. I have antibodies. I have these things that are going to attach to it, and then have the macrophages then eat them up and get rid of them. So you see, in essence, a vaccine is not giving you the virus. And as I was pointing out earlier, some people do get reaction because your body is reacting to this foreign substance that is coming in, and your body should actually. If your body does not react, that's because you're immunosuppressed and you can mount a reaction, and then that is not a good thing. So basically, you expect your body to react, and you may get a low-grade fever, you may feel a bit down, and such alike. So basically, what you have to understand is that once you get vaccinated, and of course, it takes anywhere from, depending on what vaccine, up to 13 days for your body to react and give a reaction and then build up antibodies. But once you have these antibodies, and then going forward, you are then going to be able to fight off the virus if you then are faced with it. And remember, the immunity that you get is not 100%. It varies, depends on different viruses, what kind of reaction you have. So I think people need to just get very educated about this, and then don't just say, "Hey, I'm not getting this vaccine. I'm not taking the virus, this and that." And actually, I know there's a lot of people who are going taking these religious exemptions to not be vaccinated. But I think there is no religious reason that I know. Of course, I don't know about every religion, but in the general Christian religion, there's no religious reason why you can't be vaccinated. All right. And I think we need to start having a good understanding before we start spreading rumors and saying, I'm not going to get this, I'm not going to take this, or what you like. So, and especially for our young people out there, I challenge everybody, including you, to read up and get a good understanding. No one is putting a virus into anybody as a vaccine. It's most an attenuated virus, and most likely, most of the time, it would be a protein genetically designed to resemble the protein of the virus, and therefore you won't have any direct virus into your system. And the thing is, if you can think about it this way, if you can get vaccinated, develop antibodies, so that then you can now be resistant to a thing like the coronavirus, that would be a great thing. Now, remember, and I use an example, the measles, we've kind of eradicated the measles because of vaccination. But of course, we had a few outbreaks the other day, and where did that come from? People who were not vaccinated, people who don't have the protection, and then therefore they get exposed, and then they could have dire consequences. All right. Now, any other concerns that either one of you have about the pandemic, schools opening, business opening, restaurants opening. Now they opened up in New Jersey, the gyms are allowed to open 25% capacity. Any other concerns that you have from what you're seeing about any of that? Any other concerns? Okay. All right. So I am going to look at a couple, let's see, questions. All right. I think most people online are just commenting on the fact that I think I see some good comments about that you're not really getting injected with a live vaccine, with a live virus. And I think that, and then there was a couple questions about, when are we going to get credible scientific information? And I think that's another good point. Now, where would you say should we get our information? What source? What source do you guys think is the best source to get the information we need, especially about this pandemic?
The CDC.
CDC, okay. Kiana, what source do you think is good?
I'm not sure.
You're
I
not
guess
sure?
like
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. So the CDC is probably one of the best places. However, I would say I have to put a grain of salt in that. Over the past few weeks, there's been some stuff out of the CDC that seems to be more politically, pushed. Let's put it that way. But on the basic thing, there is good basic information there because the information they have about the virus is accurate. The information about how it spread, about then the potential of a vaccine, all of that stuff is accurate. Some of the things that have been a little fuzzy is, they're trying to get things open up earlier. So they're like, saying, well, we don't have to test everybody anymore. Unless you have symptoms. That's why you probably got turned away, Brianna, because that's a kind of new thing again. So as it was in the beginning, so it was in the end. That where they are now trying to test only people. However, you can be tested if your physician or your state health people say you should be. And I say everybody can, from my standpoint, everybody should be tested. If you think you come in contact with somebody, whether you have symptoms or not, if you're out and about, for example, if you're going to just about any country right now, for them to let you in, you have to be tested. So why shouldn't you be tested on a daily basis? Those healthcare workers, even if they don't have symptoms. Of course, if you notice, there's certain people who, because of whatever they do and because of financial status, the basketball players are tested almost every day. The White House, most of the people there are tested almost every day, whether they have symptoms or not. So I think the rest of us are just as important, are more so important, because if the whole population is not secure, then everything is going to keep going down. The economy will not come back if we can't, deem that people are healthy enough to get things done. So I think my concern is that people tend to be a little lax, but in essence, good source of information is the CDC, NIH, and of course Dr. Fauci always gives good information. Most of it, and no matter what people says, he tend not to back down and to succumb. So I think just keep making sure. But there's a lot what I think you need to understand. Everybody is there's so many places that are giving out false information. There's old sites that are set up just to give out false information. There's old systems that are set up to give false information because they're trying to frame a narrative, that the virus is under control. Now, does either you think we have this virus under control? No? And why not? Why don't you think we have it under control? Why would you say you're there?
Not everyone's on the same page. Some
Mm-hmm,
people
mm-hmm.
are all about being safe and others aren't. And some people are just like, they think they're staying secluded and stuff, but they're still not wearing their mask when they go out. Just little things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kiana?
Yeah, same thing. Like, I mean, on a state basis, I know, like, New Jersey is one of the safest states because, they have followed the precautions from the beginning. But, like, as time went on, they started to get looser with the rules and stuff like that. And I've seen a
Mm-hmm.
couple of videos where, like, a lot of people argued with like retail people, like say Dunkin' Donuts for
Mm-hmm.
example, like they argue with
Mm-hmm.
the managers of reasons they shouldn't be able to wear a mask, and I'm like what's the reason? Like there's literally no
Mm-hmm.
reason to be arguing about wearing a mask. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like Brianna said, a lot of people aren't on the same page, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, and I think those are very good comments because can you imagine if and you were saying, as you're saying, New York, New Jersey, because they have kind of stayed strict with the rules, but still, even in those areas, you can't control people. So that's why I come back to say everybody has to take that personal responsibility. That's the only way we're gonna really get control, because as much as New York and New Jersey are really, tightening it down and they're gradually just open up gradually based on the science. However, individual pockets around the states, you still see where, people are doing, I'd like to have the college party I tell you about, that some people down the shore. Remember the one there in the news, there was this one guy who rented out his backyard and there were hundreds of people, like charging him $30 a person and $40 if they use a cabana. And then so there's pockets of that still going on because there's not that personal responsibility that should be there, that is there. So I think all of us have to just stay vigilant. For example, I mean, Brianna, you there, you still, what is right, you do the right thing. And of course, if somebody don't want to, be an idiot, try to be away from them because before you know it, which I don't know, can't remember exactly which school, but they actually already have 1,000 cases on the college campus. So they had to now shut down now for 2 weeks. They're shutting down again for 2 weeks, basically having everybody quarantined for 2 weeks to then try to restart. So in a matter of a week, they have 1,000 cases. So this virus is serious and it's real. The pandemic is real, and I think if we take it that even those people who are Christians are like, well, we're going to do this. The Lord, listen, a lot of Christians have died. Pastors, bishops, priests have been positive because they've not adhered to the rules. And I think if we all now just say, "Man, we're going to adhere to the rule and keep everybody as isolated as possible," we can then get it under control quicker. That we can then open everything back up. Because at the rate we're going, I don't see us opening up this country opening back up for about a year to be fully opened back up. And actually, by the time that year comes, we'll probably be in the next season, and we're not sure what's going to happen. So I think what we need to do is to work harder as a people, to make sure we're taking the necessary precautions, and then we can talk about the pandemic. Even I know a lot of places now that get permission to open. One of the things is, and I think Wally, you should check with your schools about this. How is the ventilation system? Did they redo the ventilation system so that, they're like bringing in new air, sucking out the old and not circulating the air in the system? That's one I think where a lot of people are still missing it because they're, even I know a few churches, they're going in, they have plexiglass, but up to so here, a lot of people, so they're all in there not really wearing masks. They have their plexiglass, so they think that's going to solve it. But where does all of that droplets and the thing go? It's up into the ventilation. And if you're sending back the same air in, then there you go. So you think you're so safe, but, the ventilation system is not up to par. So, and I think that's one of the things that has delayed some of the schools opening because, making sure the ventilation system is good. All right. Any other last comments from either you? Anything you'd want to say about the whole pandemic, about the situation and where you are now?
Oh yeah, I just want to say, like, like to add on what you were saying with like the phase is like how they're only testing people with symptoms. Like I agree with the like you should just get tested. Like that should just be a normal thing. Me and my roommate have been trying to get tested since I think Wednesday, and it's been a roller coaster. We went to the nurses, they turned us away. They told us to call EMS. EMS wouldn't respond until 2 days. So we had to set up an appointment at a CVS near here, and we obviously don't have a car. So we found a ride, but then we forgot our insurance cards, and it was just a lot. And like, who would have thought that it would be so hard to get tested for something? Um, and also, it kind of hurt because I thought I had to put it in my mouth and not my nose. But
No,
yeah,
it's
get
it's not
tested.
that bad. It's not that bad. Here's how you do. If you're getting the nasal test, the key thing a lot of people tell you, open your mouth and breathe through your mouth while they're doing the test.
I didn't do that.
Okay? No, that I'm telling you, it makes it a big difference. So if
Okay.
they, if you get that test every guy again, so you just, while they're doing that, no, you open your mouth and breathe through your mouth. It's gonna get
Okay.
done quicker, and so that also relaxes all of that muscles back in the nasopharynx. All right,
Yeah.
and then so it's not as much of a struggle, and it's much better. So that's free information for everybody out there. Okay, that you do. But that's an important point, and that's why I think the country should really make a bigger effort at making sure everybody is tested, because then we can test and we can track. Then you'll be able to track people when things pop up. Then persons positive, you track where they are, and you should be able to get a better handle of it. So until we do that, I think we're still going to see cases pop up here and there from everywhere. All right. Any last things, Kiana?
Just to add on to what you just said, like at school we had a question like what is the role of the government and are they fulfilling their purpose? And like it was just like a really broad question, but there's a lot of things that come into play with that. Like I personally, I told them that I feel like the government's purpose is to help and protect the residents that live in the country, and like try to keep them safe or whatever. But like for example, unemployment. There are a lot of people that has been out since the pandemic started and you know, haven't been getting taken care of. There's still people that don't have homes. They haven't been tested. Like there's just a lot of stuff like that. So I feel like the government itself aren't focused on the right things at the right time. If that makes sense, they're not. They're more focused on like
Hmm.
political aspects,
Yep.
which are not relevant at the moment. Well, it is relevant, but not as relevant as the lives of like people who are dying and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like they need to get that under control, and then the
Hmm.
virus will decrease.
Yeah, very, very right. So, I mean, and all of the pointers are right. And I think the key thing is, and that's why I keep coming back to each person take responsibilities. And some of that responsibility is to call up your congressmen, your senators, and everything to keep them online, let them know what is important to us. Because sometimes they lose track of that in the politics and all that stuff. But we, the people, have to now, stand up and make sure that the government stay in touch and they know we're paying them money, right? We pay their salaries, right? They all come from us. So we need to get the service and not worrying about all that. And even as simple as, some people are trying to make profit over this whole pandemic. They're not worrying about people's life. They're worrying about more things than, more the things that matter to them. But I think we need to, guard people's life, realize how important it is, and come together. And the one point, make one more point before we kind of wrap up, unless anybody, I don't see any pressing question there. No, but the other point is there's a lot of people who are carrying the virus and they're asymptomatic. And I think people are forgetting that. And this is why I think, as Brianna is wanting trying to get tested, is important because you want to know, did you get exposed, and you're asymptomatic, but do you have the virus? And the other point is, people that are asymptomatic have the virus can still spread the virus. All right, so it's very clear that why we need better control, better testing, everybody tested. Because, for example, you say you're on the college campus and you were exposed, you don't even know it because a lot of people running around without masks. But now you go home, you don't have any symptoms, but you go home and potentially spread to your family. So I think it's an important and a real thing that we need to, be guarding against and watching out for. So I want to thank you both for taking your time to share with us. And we hear a little bit of the youth perspective of what's going on with the virus. And we want to tell everybody out there, to stay safe. If you are out and about, if you have to be out to school, follow all the safety precaution, social distancing. We're having service outside tomorrow in the park, and we will be social distancing. Everybody need to wear a mask, and because that's what is the norm of the time. And one of the points somebody online made is a lot of times now I'm seeing, and this is something I'm going to start to push a little bit. Every time a person is going to speak, they're singing, they're taking their mask off. I think that is wrong. Why? Those are the times when you're most likely to put your particles out in the air. So why are you taking, and people can hear you. I think people seem to think, our choir demonstrated it for our virtual service. You can sing and sing just as fine with a mask on. And I think I see this is across the board. I see everybody do it. Look about it. Watch television, watch any news media, anything. The minute they get ready to talk, they take their mask off. That's crazy. This is why I think this, and then, they're close to each other, they're sharing microphones and all of that. So we have to sanitize between that, and you should keep your mask on as much as possible. That is my last say for the day. I thank you all for joining, thank you, Brianna, and, keep up the good work. All right. And since you're doing most things virtual, I would actually come home, but it's your choice. All right. Kiana as well. You have a few days at school. I would stay home as much as you can, but just be careful if you're going out there. All right. And we say to all those listening today, please be careful, be safe, and go and do your research about vaccines. That's your homework. Do a research, and I don't want to ever hear any of people who have come across you saying, oh, they're putting a virus in you or this and that. Read up, get educated, and then you can make a great decision. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a nice holiday weekend. Hopefully, you should be home. It's a holiday weekend. You should actually be home. But
I know, I forgot.
Yeah, Monday's no school. All right, so it's a perfect. You can pack up now. You'll be home by morning. But
No, I won't
we
get my
thank God.
test results.
Yeah. Okay. But they can call you. There's a
Okay.
phone. They can call you. All right. Or you can call them. All righty. So everybody stay safe. We love you. Remember, share this program with everybody around. We're trying to give out the best information that we can. You're listening to Premier's Turning Point. And have a wonderful evening. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Have a wonderful
Turning
evening.
Point family, what an awesome time we just had. To all our first-time guests, we truly appreciate you for joining our live broadcast. We would like to hear from you, so please send us your comments, questions, or testimonies of how this program has impacted your life. Our email address is info@pflmi.org. Finally, if you feel led at any time to give to this ministry, please visit us at pflmi.org and click on the tab for donations. You can also give via Cash App at $PFLMIORG. We're looking forward to meeting with you live on next week's program. Have a blessed and prosperous weekend.